So evidently a Master Duel ban list has been data mined. I want to talk about this. I'll be like the 33.8% of you guys have not smashed Living Curve by the subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 102,000. So over here is a Master Duel ban list that was data mined. I'm not sure on the validity of this list, but I want to talk about possible implementation of something to this degree with Master Duel, because a lot of people seem to have this in their head that, you know, Master Duel is going to get this very, very soon, and I still think it might be a little bit early, but alright, so banned, we have Zoodiac Drytron. Now, this pretty much follows suit with how most of the previous OCG list at that point had gone. Alright, Drytron is a one-card toolbox, feels massively powerful. Trust me, it really makes pure Zoodiac as a deck one of the most unfavorable things in the world. And I think it almost feels like they wanted to avoid having to ban this with some of the hits and things they were kind of circumventing through the design of the list there. But I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, seeing Drytron go does hurt pure Zoodiac as a combo deck. But I think, honestly, that it's a particularly fine hit. Now, True King of all Calamities needs to get the straight F out of this game. Alright, I know a lot of you virtual world players out here might not play the deck as much fundamentally, but let's be honest here. A generic floodgate monster that says no to your opponent is so unfair. Now, this will open up the doors for Virtual World to do some other things. Alright, it's really weird, right? Virtual World can actually function and do some other cool things. Yeah, I know, it's strange, right, ladies and gentlemen? All things considered, though, True King of all Calamities is one of the most toxic cards that I've ever had the chance of playing with in the TCG and the OCG. So, consider yourself to be a massive fan of just seeing this card leaving the game. Alright, and I think you'll be a much happier player seeing it gone. Now, limited to one here. People are actually foaming at the mouth that Called by the Grave is going to 1. Now, let's be honest here. You know, having the out to the out, and by say having the out, so when you activate an effect, your opponent Ash Blossoms, and you have the Called by the Grave, you have the shittiest grin on your face. Now, when your opponent activates something and you Ash Blossom and they have the Called by the Grave, you're molding at the core. The thing that I like about having Called by at 1 is it changes counterplay to this. Now, the thing is, Called by going to 1 is horrible for Eldritch, because that means Eldritch is just going to get off even more scot-free, and the player base is already molding at the fact that Eldritch exists in this game at the capacity that it is. So, Called by the Grave is a massive hit for hand trap players so that they'll resolve more. This is definitely unfair, though, for Eldritch, because Eldritch just get off massively scot-free. Hey, man, one Called by the Grave as an Eldritch player, you just got a lot better. Next up, we also have the Ben 10 to 1. Now, a lot of players are looking at Drytron right now, and I'm not going to lie to you. The deck is unfair as crap. It is one of the most heart-wrenching game breakers to play, because in going first, if they win the dice roll and they go first and they set up, you're defeated. You're like I really, you're gonna make me do this. And I agree, it is very unfun. I played it on the ladder. Herald is just toxic. Putting Ben 10 to 1 will probably hit the consistency of the deck, but I do agree with a lot of players that are like, why are we just going after Ben 10 and not going after Ava? And I think a lot of Konami, their mentality here is they don't want to like put strict hits on things. They want things to, I think, remain playable, what I would deem in the realm of things. So yeah, Ben 10 is pretty much, it's an acceptable hit, I think, here. We also have Tenki going to 1. This is a very good consistency hit to Tri-Brigade. Not only is Tri-Brigade losing Drytron, alright, which is something that the deck shouldn't have had in the first place access to, by hitting Tenki, they're slapping the consistency on the wrist. They're like, oh, Beast Warrior strategies, no, what will we do? And they're making it feel a little bit fair. Now, personally, when I've played against Tri, Tenki has been like the least of my problems. I understand, like, yeah, it is a free search in the deck, and it does expedite the process, so we should probably punish them. And this is also one of those Zoodiac hits as well, because, you know, evidently one card Zeus in this format is strange and powerful. I haven't really had Zeus problems all that much, considering the fact that how diverse the format really feels at this point in time. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that Kentucky going to 1 is acceptable as well, just because maybe they feel that Tri-Brigade needs that consistency punch on the face, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up here, we have Crossout Designator going to 2. Now, I have not had a problem with Crossout Designator at all in this game. Hell, I don't actually think I've seen an opponent playing Crossout Designator. The thing I've had more of a problem with is getting Numeron OTK'd out of left field. So, considering the fact that they're choosing to preemptively go after Crossout Designator, this just kind of feels like one of those hits to bring us up closer to the speed of the actual modernized format. But this game is based on 1 out of 1 formats. I almost feel like you lose a lot of value in Crossout Designator. So, like I said, I think this is strictly one of those hits that we're trying to bring us closer to the OCG metagame in terms of realism here, but it just doesn't... Guys, leave a comment down below and tell me, has Crossout Designator been something that you've actually ran into, or is this just kind of one of those preemptive hits and it almost feels like... Please, I am very curious to hear those thoughts. Soul Eating Oviraptor 2... 3. I guess I'm okay with this. I've only played against dinosaurs twice in Master Duel, and most of the time the combos that they set up are really no different than modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, it's usually Oviraptor field spell interactions. I actually did get gatekeeped by the deck though, while trying to play to Plat 1 this season. So the deck didn't feel like it does anything massively unpowerful. It's just, I understand the multiple misc gets kind of annoying, and you don't want to have to play through those relatively annoying fields. I get it, alright? And now having Oviraptor potentially to 3 makes that, unnecessary at that point. So maybe seeing Dinosaur at a higher power level will kind of change the tide of things, but I don't think it's going to really make that much of a difference at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, you are going to probably see some difference in shape here. Next up here is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to 3. Now, don't get me wrong, Dragon Link in this game is awesomely powerful. I've seen a lot of players that are dedicated to the huge combos that are behind this. The thing is, Red Eyes Darkness Metal has that errata that makes it a hard once per turn. So what value do you really get here out of, including extra copies of them into your strategy? I think the trade-off here is, yeah, cool, more Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You still only use 1. Alright, so you're not getting too much crazy power out of this. So I think that this is a fine return for Dragon Link players. Honestly, I think Dragon Link winning on this list is a very good thing. The other thing is, considering that I would say 90% of this game feels like a very casual player base, I don't see that they have much of a reason to really punish Dragon Link, alright? It's another potential deck out there for players to explore. And expect there's a lot of people out there that love Dragon decks, ladies and gentlemen. You would be really surprised by that. And then E-Telly to 3. So, we have Virtual World losing True King of all Calamities. They gain 3 emergency teleports. You know who else gains from 3 emergency teleports, ladies and gentlemen? Burning Abyss combo decks. Alright, decks out here that can take advantage of these rank 3 toolbox decks will be the clear winners here. There is no reason to really, I guess, have E-Telly locked up at this part. We're so far away from seeing the Adventure or Brave Token stuff in this game. I think you're probably not going to see that stuff for like 3 to 4 months at this point in time. So E-Telly shifting into the format here doesn't really hurt much, ladies and gentlemen. I actually think that's a much needed inclusion into the game to kind of shift things up here. And we'll have to wait and see really how the impact of something like this could actually kind of shape up the game here. But from where I'm sitting here, having an E-Telly pushback is fine. So overall, final thoughts on this list. This is very realistic in my opinion. Cleaning up True King, punishing Drytron to a degree, the E-Telly and the Darkness Metal movements all make sense. I think everything from a TCG player / OCG player aspect, looking in on this list from where the game was at this point in time, is fine. All right, we're going to be probably entering into the Sword Soul meta here in a little bit, so we'll kind of have to wait and see how this impacts. But I think on paper, everything here looks fine for a list. So guys, what do you think about this potentially being the Master Duel ban list? Please leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, that subscribe button, so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.